Good morning. I'm happy to see you all here. Thank you for being here. I'm Cheryl Archer. I use she and her pronouns. And I'd like to thank our talented musicians, Deb Santamaria, Terry Stanley, and the Sounds of Joy. And let's give some love to our entire AV team and our sound engineer, Levi Griffin. Welcome to the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living, where we teach spiritual principles and practices that nourish us, uplift us, and celebrate our oneness with all of life. A special welcome to those of you who are joining us for the very first time. We're so glad you're here in the sanctuary with us. Please raise your hand, and someone will bring you a welcome packet. Also, a big welcome to everyone who is joining us on YouTube Live and Facebook Live. Make sure you sign up for our weekly newsletter so you can know all about the fun things that we have to offer here at the Oakland Center. We especially acknowledge that here in the Bay Area, we gather on the traditional land of the indigenous Ohlone people. We honor with gratitude the land itself and the people who have stewarded these lands for countless generations. Now let's take a moment to bless our children wherever they are. We bless all the children in our community and the world. We love you. We see you. We know the truth of who you are. You are unique expressions of God, and we are grateful to have you in our lives. And so it is. On Wednesday, May 28th, Midweek Oasis, join practitioner Peggy Cotton for an encore discussion on the topic, Overcoming Silence, Individual and Collective Liberation. 6:30 is meditation, and the service is at 7. We will return to our regular virtual service. Please join the Ministry of Prayer for Friday night prayer happy hour on May 30th from 7 to 8 p.m. on Zoom. It's weekly on Fridays except for the 4th Friday of the month. Practitioners Maureen Milena and Megan Lemon extend this open invitation to anchor in prayer with your spiritual community. Please visit oaklandcsl.org/events, click on the image, and use the passcode. It's simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now let's welcome to the podium Helen Neville for a quick announcement from the gardening team.
Good morning. I'm here with a message from your garden crew. If you love to garden but don't have space at home or don't have the time, we have a deal for you. To keep the garden beautiful, Margot Tabbitt comes here twice every week to water. But during the summer, we need a little extra help. We need one person to water a small section of the garden on Sundays after service when you're already here. It'll only take 10 to 15 minutes per week. You'll spray one small section about the size of 3 kitchen tables, one area, just during the summer until the winter rains come. We'd like to have 2 or 3 volunteers to share coverage when somebody's away. If you don't like to garden, but are willing to donate 15 minutes of time, you don't have to crawl on your hands and knees, don't have to dig in the mud. You'll just stand and spray with the garden hose. Remember how much fun that was when you were a kid? If you do garden at home, you know how important that summer water is, and we'd appreciate your help. I'll be in the courtyard after service to show you what we need, and I'll be wearing my garden hat so you can find me. Thank you.
May is Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, and it's observed in the United States during the month of May. And it recognizes the contributions and influence of Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islander Americans to the history, culture, and achievements here in the United States. New Member Sunday is on June the 8th during service. The current requirements to become a new member of OCSL are 1, you take the Quick Start class, 2, submit a member intention form, and 3, attend a new member orientation on June 1 after service. We're excited to have you join our member community. Join the fabulous Lisa Ferreira and the accomplished Tammy Hall on Friday evening, June 27th, 7 to 9 p.m. for an OCL 80th anniversary concert. Light, love, and all that jazz. Tickets are now on sale. Go to oaklandcsl.org events page. We'll also support those who are less familiar with the purchasing online process after service starting June 1. Be sure to get your tickets and help to sell out the event. Our nonprofit partner for May-June is Be a Mentor. They're a nonprofit that seeks to help children and youth through challenging and vulnerable circumstances and to build vibrant, successful lives for themselves with the support of caring and positive adult role models. Visit their website at beamentor.org for more information. Help save the Science of Mind magazine by helping to increase our subscribers. Our legacy magazine that has inspired many for so long is in danger of becoming extinct. Give the gift of Science of Mind today. Visit csl.org for more information. The Spirit Treasure Bookstore in May celebrates Asian American and Pacific Islander Month and Mother's Day. Be sure to check out our 30% off table. Please visit our website at oaklandcsl.org and sign up for our weekly newsletter, The Village News. Please like and subscribe to Oakland CSL today and follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook for special updates and content. Visit csl.org to see what's happening in our Centers for Spiritual Living global organization. And now, if you're willing and able, please stand and let's recite together our vision and mission statement. The vision of the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living is to joyfully reveal the love and oneness of God. We are a welcoming and inclusive spiritual community dedicated to individual transformation and collective growth. Our purpose is to love, inspire, and serve our community and the world through education, music, prayer, and play. And so it is.
Good morning, OCSL. Grand Rising. My name is Dodie Cheney Fernandez. I'm a practitioner emeritus, emerita. I emphasize that because I was busted. You know, I would always say I'm a practitioner emeritus. They said, no, it's a ta. So I have 2 readings, and you may follow me on the screen or close your eyes. The first reading is, silence become cowardice when occasion demands speaking out the whole truth and acting accordingly. Mahatma Gandhi. How many snowflakes does it take to break a branch? What if we only need one more voice to speak before peace could come? Success is not a matter of doing something perfectly. It is a matter of doing it until the time comes for it to happen, until God's time is fulfilled. This is Joan Chittister from In Search of Belief, an American nun theologian. So let's go within. Accepting and knowing that the life we live is God expressing. accepting and receiving this power, this presence, this energy, this strength in, around, and through each of us. Knowing that God is right where we are. And as we're consciously aware of the knowingness of this truth, it reveals itself. It opens up avenues and ways that allows us to be inspired, allows us to know and accept the beauty of life in ways that makes it fulfilling and satisfying. God is good and reveals itself in the form of goodness. In and through every one of our senses, we feel it, we taste it, we smell it, we hear it. We know this, that there's something that's powerful and strong right where we are in every minute of our day, in all that we do. This power that's revealing itself continues in our lives, in every aspect of it. And the moment we honor and accept that we are not in this alone, in the moment that we honor and accept that this goodness is right where we are, regardless of circumstances, conditions, or situation, it's all powerful, knows what to do and how to do everything. But it's our charge to remember. It is revealing itself in and through each of us to the degree that we're open and receptive to it. So knowing that this is true, I give thanks for a wonderful service today. Know that God moves through each of us and allows us to be uplifted on our spiritual journey. Allows us to know the truth, that right action is revealing itself in and through our lives in ways that brings peace and harmony, joy, health, and happiness into our world. I give thanks and know that as Reverend, I'm sorry, I forgot his name. I'm sorry. Accepting and knowing that as Reverend Elijah comes to us and brings us a message that fires us up, that allows us to continue to know that his goodness and his truth is revealed. God is revealing it through him in a way that he delivers it to us, that we are uplifted. We feel the strength of God's good, sharing, revealing, uplifting. In and through this service, it's all good. God is our life. So giving thanks for this, I release these words and accept that it's done. So please affirm with me by saying, and so it is. Amen.
Go, 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 go. Everyone keep the beat for us. I belong to you, you belong to me, Lord. I'm surrounded everywhere that I go. I will walk with you, you will walk with me, Lord. I'm surrounded everywhere that I go, 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 go. Yeah. Would you sing it with me?
I belong to you, you belong to me, Lord. I'm surrounded everywhere that I go. I belong to you, you belong with me, Lord. I'm surrounded everywhere that I go, and I am yours, and you are mine, oh mine. You promised me,
Yeah, yeah.
you never leave, you promised me,
I'm never forsaken.
never forsaken. I believe goodness follow me, surrounding me where I go, everywhere that I go.
Yeah. Oh,
I belong to you. You belong to me, Lord. I'm surrounded everywhere that I go. I will walk with you. You will walk with me, Lord. I'm surrounded everywhere that I go. And I am yours, and you are mine. All mine. You promised me
hey,
you never leave. You promised me
I'm never forsaken.
I'm never forsaken. I believe goodness and mercy will follow me, surrounding me where I go, everywhere that I go.
You, Lord, are a shield around me everywhere, everywhere that I go.
You, Lord, are a shield above me everywhere, everywhere that I go. You, Lord, are a shield around me everywhere, everywhere that I go. Your grace and love surround me everywhere, everywhere that I go. I believe goodness and mercy will follow me, surrounding me where I go. Where is me? You never leave. You promise me
I'm never forsaken.
I'm never forsaken. I believe goodness and mercy will follow me, surrounding me where I go, where I go, where I go, everywhere that I go.
How wonderful is that? Good morning, OCSL. I'm Reverend Allie Hutchinson. I'm a staff minister here at Oakland Center, and I am your ministerial host for today. Reverend Sunshine has traded places with another minister, and she's down at their center, and their minister is here, and I will introduce them in a second. We're going to start with a solemn moment. Reverend Sunshine asked me to acknowledge that this is the 5-year anniversary of the murder of George Floyd. And in her words, we cannot let ourselves forget horrific acts like this. So I would like to invite you to hold in your hearts everyone who's affected by this, this event. And let's have just a few moments of silence. Thank you, and blessings to all of us as we navigate difficult times. As spiritual beings having a human experience and frequently encountering things like pain and uncertainty and injustice, we know that the way we can ground ourselves is with daily spiritual practice. So our daily spiritual practice, as most of you know, for this year has been to do the daily affirmations in 2 collections. Ernest Holmes' 365 Science of Mind, and Deborah Perdue's book called Daily Gratitude Reflections, Volume 2. So they're up right now. Please read along with me with mindfulness as we embrace today's readings and make these affirmations our own. From Ernest Holmes, as a spark of God, I am illumined by the spirit of wisdom. I am free from the bondage of all false beliefs. The spirit of wisdom enables me to see all others as they are in reality, perfect expressions of God. And from Deborah Perdue, my roots are strong in faith. I ground myself in trust, transcending all the human pains and glory that do always pass by like the wind. And so it is. Thank you, Larry. Today, I have the honor of introducing our speaker, Reverend Elisha Christopher. Yay! Reverend Elisha Christopher, if you haven't encountered him before, is the spiritual director and senior minister at Center for Spiritual Living, Santa Cruz. They began their career in spiritual leadership at the Launching Pad in Berkeley, which was a residential spiritual community for young adults, where they served from 2010 to 2017. Reverend Elisha was also chosen to participate in the Gene Houston Foundation's Emerging Leaders Initiative. Dr. Houston's mentoring gave them a firm foundation for their capacity as a visionary teacher and communicator, and they later served as a trainer of trainers for the Houston Foundation. Reverend Elisha served as a speaker, guest minister, and teacher and online and at many CSL centers in the Western United States. They combine spiritual practices with contemporary neuroscience to teach skills for transformative living and to help students explore ways to unite spiritual living with nature awareness and climate change remediation. Reverend Elisha is also known for their innovative curriculum that they created called Synthesis, which offers a fresh look or new perspective on new thought, looking at it through the critical lens of today's issues. Their method of combining storytelling and music and drumming and ceremony in the weekly worship services at Santa Cruz has demonstrated a universal appeal for all ages in Santa Cruz and beyond. And today, we get to experience Reverend Elisha. The first time I heard Reverend Elisha talk was at a SOAR retreat in 2019, and I think I listened to their talk about a dozen times after that. So definitely part of the fan base. If this is your first time, lucky you. So let's give Reverend Elisha a very warm OCSL welcome.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm so grateful to be here. Coming to OCSL always feels like coming home. This was one of my home communities. When I was living in Berkeley, I was here the whole time. And so this really feels like one of my spiritual homes. So I'm grateful to be here. I always like to begin with a few breaths just to bring us all together. So we're going to breathe together 3 times. And if you will, I'm going to ask you to exhale first. And take a deep breath in. And let it go. Let's do that again. Breathe in. Letting go. One more together. Breathe in. And let go. So it's so good just to breathe together, to come into that synchronicity with each other. And it's fun to be here on this Sunday. Reverend Sunshine and I have done this a few times now where we switch places. So I come up here to Oakland and she goes down there to Santa Cruz. And part of that is to remind both of us and all of us that we're part of a greater community, right? We have this community here, I have that community there, but we're all part of a greater movement of the Centers for Spiritual Living, of the New Thought movement. And, today's topic is about the individual and collective consciousness. And one of the things I want to say first is for us to think about the power of our collective consciousness, right? And I'm a big fan of Lynn McTaggart's work and her books like The Power of 8 and The Intention Experiment. And one of the things she talks about is that anytime a group of people focus on the same thing at the same time, something more becomes available. There's a more that is part of our collective consciousness. And so while I'm right here right now, Reverend Sunshine is on the stage at my center. And I want us to remember that that's not just the two of us, that we're on the West Coast, and just about all 200, 300 centers on the West Coast are all having service right now, right? And a number of years ago, the Centers for Spiritual Living began our Global Themes project, which Reverend Sunshine and I have both been a part of. So all of the Centers for Spiritual Living, at least those that participate around the world, are using the same themes, the same topics that line up with the Science of Mind magazine. And so just to think about for a moment that those of us sitting here in this room are part of a wave of consciousness that's moving over the nation this morning, and we're all having the same conversation on some level. Do you feel the power of that? Right? And so, 3 hours ago it started on the East Coast, and this conversation's moved across the nation, and now it's happening here. Right? And these same topics have been stirred in the minds of all the ministers and practitioners and folks who've been reading the magazine, have all been sitting in this collective consciousness together. And when we first brought the global themes forward into the Centers for Spiritual Living organization, many of our centers, I think many of us who come to these communities are like, I'm an individual, I like to do my own thing. And I'm one of those, clearly. But something emerged for me as I realized, wait a minute, we claim ourselves as a movement. We are a collective. And when we start to bring ourselves together, not out of we're all restrained to these same topics, but we're opening ourselves up to an atmosphere of collaboration, right? We're inviting the whole of our movement to become a focused collective consciousness, thinking about the same thoughts, reading the same quotes, moving through the same ideas. And so if I remember that any time a group of people focuses on the same thing at the same time, something more becomes available, then that reminds me that there's a more of us that's calling us forward. There's a more of us that is beckoning us into our becoming and into our evolution. And it was the more of us that came up with this idea, global themes. Let's bring our collective consciousness together. And what's interesting and beautiful to me is that then these themes get created sometimes a year in advance. And I've been on the team who's been working on this, so has Reverend Sunshine. And it's been amazing to me to watch the last few years especially, how the weekly themes that we prepared a year before, the monthly themes, seem to be right on. Right? May's theme has been Raise Your Voice. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's been an invitation for us as a collective to raise our voice, right? And that there's been these mass days of mobilization. We're seeing the nation waking up, right? Today is the 5-year anniversary of the murder of George Floyd, as we held in this moment of silence before. What a tragic moment, and also realize that his death, that moment, did something to our collective consciousness. We saw what happened after that as a result. And many people knew what was going on for a long time. Many people woke up and went, oh, this doesn't work, right? And there's an awakening. There's something that's taking place. And so just to remind us that always the more of us is at work, the something more is working in our collective consciousness. And it's always calling us forward. And I think that Spirit cleverly communicates with us in the ways that we can hear. And are we willing to listen? And I think that myself, maybe many of us, in various ways in our own lives or in the world, maybe we've gotten really good at not exactly listening, which has led most of us into whatever those situations are that we found that we didn't like. We usually got there because we didn't listen to something, right? And I know that how many of us have found those moments in our lives where something didn't work because we said yes when the inner voice said no, right? And so it's about this practice of deep listening. And we only get to really listen to that voice when we're in deep practice, when we actually slow down enough to pay attention. If I remember this first step of spiritual mind treatment, God is all that there is. That's the core practice, the core teaching of this philosophy that we teach in Centers for Spiritual Living. God is all that there is. So I'm a big fan of what I like to call the unanswerable question. Our Zen friends would call it a koan. And it's a spiritual question that you ask, that you contemplate, that probably has no answer. But it's in the contemplating of the question that the more becomes available and opens. So my unanswerable question that I like to use as my practice is, if it's all God, how is this God? How is this God? How is this situation? How is what's happening? How is this God? And especially now as I look out at our world, I look at our nation, I look at all the turmoil and all the division and all the upheaval and all of the mistruths and all the things that are stirring out there, and realize that Spirit is communicating something to us. That there is contrast, that there is difficulty, that there are things showing up that are challenging us and asking us what we truly value, what is truly important, what we allow in our collective space. And if we're willing to listen, Spirit is speaking to us through everyone and everything all the time. And so when the things show up that look like what we don't want, Spirit's giving us an invitation. I'll never forget a number of years ago, I had a previous relationship that had ended over a decade ago. I was in a moment where all the things in my life were falling apart. I dropped out of ministerial school for about a year. I was in this very in-between, and I was working on a farm, and I ended up getting a fungal infection in my eyes. And there was a point where I found myself laid out on the floor with cool cloths over my eyes. I could not see. I could not do anything. My relationship was falling apart. Everything felt broken. And I remember having a moment laying in my room and thinking to myself, I am feeling right now the exact opposite of what I really want. Do you feel that there's a power in that? There's an invitation in that, because once I knew that what I was feeling was the complete and total contrast of what I was looking for, that pain suddenly gave me a measure of the joy I was seeking. All that was falling away, all that seemed broken, all that wasn't working, all that was leaving my life suddenly made me realize how much room Spirit had given me for what was being created and what was being called forward. So what if everything that falls away is the way, or everything, the things that get ripped away are the way that Spirit makes room for what is more? And maybe anything we lose is the measure of what's coming. Anything Spirit takes away is the measure of what Spirit is preparing to give us. And so when I look at what's happening in our collective experience in this nation, around all, even my own community, and I see a whole lot of things feeling like they're falling away, a whole lot of things feeling like they're breaking down and not working, it makes me realize that Spirit is up to something. That Spirit's making room for something more. That Spirit's preparing all of us to maybe be willing to make choices, to stand up, to raise our voices, to create movements, to come together in ways that maybe we never would have if we weren't forced to do so. And there's a time where evolution stops being so kind and gentle. And it's usually crisis that creates the great leaps in the evolutionary timeline. And so let's just let that be a reminder to us that crisis always precedes evolutionary jumps. And I know in spiritual community we often love the metaphor of the caterpillar going into the chrysalis and becoming a butterfly. We've all heard this one before, right? We know how this works. Well, we love the metaphor, but I'm pretty sure rarely do we love being in the chrysalis portion of this story. Right? We always love the, I'm becoming a butterfly, but it's like, do we remember what happens to the caterpillar? The caterpillar ceases to be. Right? When the caterpillar's crawled into pulled into the chrysalis, the caterpillar eventually melts. The caterpillar dies. Its whole way of life, its whole way of being, everything that it knew has to fall away. And then in that process of transformation, those imaginal cells wake up, who hold the coating of the new butterfly, and out of the mess start to put it all back together and create something the previous self could have never imagined. Right? So maybe our collective caterpillar self is on the decline. There's something that I find really fascinating about this process, which is that it has to be the right season. It has to be the right temperature. It has to be the right time of year for the caterpillar to get the awareness, oh, it's time to go within. And then there's this whole process that happens inside. And then again, it has to be the right temperature, the right season, the right light, the right timing for that butterfly to emerge. Otherwise, it's not going to survive. So here's the thing that I love about this, is it's the external conditions that calls upon something inside the caterpillar to wake up. Right? We often think, oh, the conditions. Don't look at the conditions. We got to look at what we want and like all the things. And don't look at what's not working. But maybe what's not working, maybe the conditions are the season. Maybe the season is right for our transformation. And that I had this aha a while ago. My community in Santa Cruz has been going through a great time of transformation. We had to close our building due to a number of factors. And we're in this moment where our nation may feel to many of us like it's really not working, like it's crumbling and falling apart and all these things are happening. So maybe, and I said this to my community last week and I'm saying it to you, let's take this transformation butterfly chrysalis, caterpillar butterfly chrysalis story. Oftentimes we apply it to the self and say, oh, you go through the chrysalis and you melt down and it's all this difficult stuff and then this thing happens. What if we collectively are in the chrysalis together? The nation's our chrysalis and it's going through that whole meltdown process. Well, in the meltdown, something happens. There are these little imaginal cells. I love this name, imaginal cells, that wake up in the caterpillar, and they hold the building blocks of the new story. The imaginal cells are dormant in the caterpillar, and when they first wake up, the caterpillar's immune system tries to kill them. You feel me? So then it has to melt down enough that the caterpillar's immune system dies, and then the imaginal cells can start to take over. So here's what I want to invite us into thinking about. Each, myself, you, all of us, we are the imaginal cells. We're all in this great big chrysalis together, and the conditions are waking up that which is within us, which is ready to rise up, that which is ready to speak, that which is ready to bring things together, that which is ready to heal, that which is ready to bring forth and build and participate and become the new story. Do you feel that? So this is our time, realizing that we can look out and say, oh no, all the wrong things are happening. But maybe all the right things are happening to wake us up, to transform it all and actually build something new. Actually build this thing that we talk about in Centers for Spiritual Living, a world that works for everyone. Right? I'm on the Sacred Activism Committee for Centers for Spiritual Living. And as we were developing the piece for the website and trying to say, how do we frame what is sacred activism, spiritual activism? What is this? It's the activity of bringing about our global vision of a world that works for everyone. Sacred activism, getting out, raising our voices, participating in social change, that's the activity of bringing out the global vision. That's the activity of building the butterfly. Right? So we have to feel the call, the conditions wake us up on the inside. It activates to something more. That something more impels us to rise up, and then in the process, the new story can emerge. So there's an opportunity for us to take this collective moment that we are all wobbling through together and let it be an invitation to empower us. Let us remember that we're working with a collective consciousness. And I think in New Thought for the last, 100 years, we've done a really good job about teaching the power of individual consciousness, about how each one of us is responsible for our own thoughts, for our own choices, for our own creation, for our own piece of the great wholeness expressing. But we also don't exist in a vacuum, because we are all creating together. And I think that part of the evolution of our philosophy is for us to be talking more about how we co-create as a collective, how each one of our consciousness is a drop in an ocean or a wave that is creating, and that we're creating together. That we are here interdependently, that we are here because of and for each other. And I think that that mindset is perhaps what our nation and our world needs right now more than anything, is that we're here to be in mutual interdependence. We're here to be in mutual co-creation with each other, for each other, lifting each other up, rising into the possible, building that world that works for everyone. And we do it, we get to practice in these spaces we call spiritual community, which might be like a few degrees easier than doing it out there. You know, because the greatest spiritual practice that exists on planet Earth is just interacting with other people. You know, and so then we get to come into these spaces where we have a little bit of an agreement. We've created a safe that's maybe a little more brave and a little more space than just the world we walk in out there, where we get to practice bumping into each other and offending each other and figuring each other out and doing it with forgiveness and love and modeling and learning in the process, so that then when we walk it out in the world, we've practiced, right? And I say often to my community, your spiritual practice is exactly that. It's a practice. All the reading, all the meditating, all the chanting and the singing and all the wonderful things we do, that's the practice. But guess what? It's exam time. Right? Like the test is up. Pop quiz. You know, and so the universe drops these pop quizzes on us to check if we've been doing our spiritual practice. Have you practiced? Right? Because this is a time of great proving. I've been saying we're living through the proving time, where we get to prove to ourselves what we believe, and at the very same time, the universe is going to prove it right back. Because the law of God is always operating perfectly. And what I mean by that is that spirit, this whole perfect and complete thing, this it's all good, it's all perfect all the time thing, what it means is that the universe, life, is a mirror of what's happening on the inside. And the mirror works perfectly. Right? And so if we look out at our own life or the collective life and we don't like what we see, that means there's something shining back at us for us to look at, for us to explore, for us to heal. And so when I look out and I see the world as it is and I know that the reflection is happening perfectly, it makes me go, oh, I got some work to do. And how often the tests come. How often my compassion is challenged by the leadership of this country. I'm just going to say it. You know, that my compassion, my deep ability to sit in truth, to ask that question, how is this God? I have to ask that so often. And the asking is the important part. It's the being in the question. It's being in the contemplation. Because I tell you, there are a lot of things that come my way. I ask, how is this God? And I don't get an answer. But it's the constantly going back to the question, being willing to look for it. Because when I'm willing to look for it, maybe I might eventually see it sparkling back at me in the eyes of that person I couldn't see it before. Or maybe I might start to see how that painful or unjust thing was a catalyst for something more. And I think we're living through a catalyzing time. And so just know that all the things that come our way, individually and collectively, are for our healing. That all of it is for our co-creation with life and with each other. and that the more of us is emerging. The butterfly version of us is emerging, but we have to remember that we're the imaginal cells, and it's not going to happen unless we build it. You know, we all know Dr. King told us the moral arc of the universe is long, but it bends towards justice. But guess what? We have to be the ones who bend it. It doesn't bend on its own. It requires our participation. But we have to allow ourselves to be moved and be flexible in the process as well. So that's my story for today, is that we are the imaginal cells. The conditions are waking us up. This is our time. Be in our practice. As Carl Jung would remind us, the greatest work you can do in your life is to heal your piece of the collective unconscious. So do your work. I'm going to do mine. Keep cleaning it up. Keep getting clearer. Keep doing the practice. And then we come together in co-creation. We bring our voices together. We rally, we organize, we build. And we can bring that world that works for everyone into being. And we can start right here and right here. Amen? All right. Let's take a breath. We're going to go into prayer. I think we're going to invite the practitioners to stand as well.
So we invite the practitioners to surround the community to remind us that they are continuously surrounding us and holding us in prayer. Elisha?
And so if you will, friends, let's all take another deep breath in. And let it go. Ooh, here we go. And let's just breathe. And know that we are co-creating with the power and the presence that is living and breathing throughout the entirety of existence. Because what I know is that there is one seamless presence, one power that I call God. And I know that this one power is always at work. That this one power that has been unfolding all of evolution for billions of years, this one power that has been spinning the galaxies and shining the sun, this one power that has risen over and over and over again as movements and awakening of individuals and groups, this one power is at work in the world right now. That power that causes the seed to sprout, that power that causes the butterfly to emerge from the chrysalis, that power that causes those little cells to wake up, that same power is at work in me. That same power is at work in each one of us. That same power is at work in our nation and in our world right now. Because whether I can see it in any given moment or not, what I know is that all of it is the activity of God. All of it is the expansion of the consciousness and the expansion of the universe. All of it is for us. Everything that happens to us happens for us. Everything that comes our way is our invitation. So let us remember that something is calling us deeper than we've ever been called before. Something is calling us higher than we've ever been called before. Something is calling us to wake up. Something is calling us to stand up. Something is calling us to look for God. To ask the question, to be in the practice. Because what I know is that it is the power of our consciousness individually and collectively that creates the world. So let us remember that we are co-creators. Let us remember that we are that one power expressing. And that the conditions are calling us to rise up. The more of us is calling. A world that works for everyone is calling us. Will we say yes to it? And so I just invite us this morning to remember that each one of us is part of the great wholeness. Each one of us is part of the healing. Each one of us contains little codes of the new story. Each one of us a piece of the puzzle. No one has the picture on the box, but every one of us has a piece. And so let us come together to co-create, to heal, to love. And so in gratitude, I just remember and remind us yet again that we are being breathed. Something greater than we are is breathing us. There's a power for good in this universe that is always at work. Ernest Holmes says we can use it. I say let it use us. Let us open and let the more of us emerge. And it is from this place that I will pass my word.
I bless our world and everyone and everything in it. I bless Mother Earth that we are called upon to steward with love, who holds us and sustains us and provides for every need. And we are grateful. I know peace and divine order, harmony, balance in every corner of our world, in every condition, in every circumstance, whatever the transformation that's happening at the moment, wherever we're being called to do. I know love, comfort, peace of mind, and healing and wholeness for everyone facing any kind of challenge of any form. I know peace and healing for everyone affected by recent acts of violence or injustice. And I bless each and every person who is longing for, praying for, and working toward a world that works for everyone. For all the prayers in our minister prayer box, I know that Spirit is surrounding that prayer request, the person requesting it, the person for whom we are praying. I know that Spirit is calling forth the highest good for each person involved, for each circumstance. For Reverend Francione, health, healing, and wholeness. For Taylor, divine right action for the perfect job. For our new Pope Leo XIV, compassion, leadership, guidance, and success. For our country, the United States of America, peace and unconditional love. For all marginalized groups impacted by federal aid cuts, such as the LGBTQ+, the elderly, the disenfranchised, knowing peace and abundance in every form needed, knowing that they feel in every moment surrounded by love. For all the countries on our planet, may we live in peace, harmony, love together. And finally, I know peace of mind and comfort for Chantal Rolfing and her family members as they release their beloved Allison, our beloved Allison, who made her transition this past week. And now please go into your heart and speak a word for anyone that you know to be in need of prayer. Speak them into the sacredness of the sanctuary. And we'll just have a moment to allow you to do that. And in gratitude, even as you continue the prayers, in gratitude, even as we know that those prayers were answered before they were even requested or uttered, that all our good has already been given us, that our conditions, as Reverend Elisha reminded us, are simply bringing us deeper and higher. In gratitude, I close this prayer. I speak my word into the law. I let God take care of the details and invite you all to say with me, and so it is. Thank you very much. And this would be a fabulous time to give Reverend Elisha a little more love. Okay, what time is it? Yes, not howdy doody time. It's conscious giving time. So I invite you to embrace our conscious giving of both joy and awe at what it means to be part of a universe that is infinite in its givingness. If you're new and wondering how to give, we have many ways. You can go to our website, click the red donate button. It'll take you to a page where there are so many options. There's a case in law that every first-year law student learns early in the year about whether it's okay to write a check on the side of a cow if it's a good check. So if you brought one today, we'll try to work with you. Otherwise, there are lots of ways to give. If you're here in person, you have some resources in the seat in front of you. An envelope for cash. We do ask that you use the envelope. Pledge card, if you haven't turned it in yet, it's not too late. There is a QR code if you want to give on your phone, and if you auto-tithe and want a representative thing in your hand to come up to the baskets, there should be a laminated card there in the amount of $5 billion. So, as I said last time, feel free to use it even though you're not giving that much, okay? As you participate, I invite you to consider the universe infinite in its scope, in constant motion, constantly creating and growing and evolving. And I invite you to know down to your bones that you are part of that infinite flow. That is what you are. And that when you align with it, the grace and ease that comes is also infinite in scope. So in that spirit, please say with me our giving affirmation, which should be coming on the screen. If not, we'll do a call and response. Let's do a call and response. Good call. All right. Divine love as me.
Divine love as me.
Blesses and multiplies this offering.
Blesses and multiplies this offering.
It blesses all that I am.
Blesses all that I am.
All I give. And all that I circulate. Thank you, love as me, and so it is.
Thank you, love as me, and so it is.
And I invite you to come to the baskets with your offering or just to bless the baskets if you'd like to do that. Thank you.
A story to tell you about something I've been through, but I'm healed. Oh, I'm healed. Had some ups and some downs, level to the ground, but I'm healed. Oh, I'm healed. Had to wrestle all night long, wondering what went wrong, but I'm healed. Oh, I'm healed. Had some sunshine, some rain, heartache and some pain. I'm healed. Oh, I'm healed. My God is touching, delivered. My soul is set free. My heart is mended. I'm whole within. No chains are holding me. Got my liberty, I am healed. I am healed. I'm healed today. God touched me, delivered. My soul is set free. My heart is mended. I'm whole within. No chains are holding me. Got my liberty, I am healed. I am healed. I'm healed today. May have some scars, I am healed. Circumstances, I'm still healed. Disappointment, I am healed. am healed. Circumstances, I'm still healed. Disappointment, I am healed. Oh, I am healed. I am healed. I am healed. With God's love, I am healed. Oh, I am healed. I am healed. I am healed. With God's love, I am healed. May have some scars, I am healed. Circumstances, I'm still healed. Disappointments, I am healed. May have some scars, I am healed. Circumstances, I'm still healed. Disappointments, I am healed. Oh, I am healed. I am healed. Yeah. I am healed. With God's love, I am healed. Oh, I am healed. I am healed. I am healed. With God's love, I am healed. May have some scars, I am healed. Circumstances, I'm still healed. Disappointments, I am healed. May have some scars, I am healed. Circumstances, I'm still healed. Disappointments, I am healed. Oh, I am healed. I am healed. I am healed. With God's love, I am healed. Thank you.
Okay. Let's give them some more love. We appreciate everyone who participated in the service today. Thank you all. Our musicians, our speaker, our practitioners, and everyone who contributed to this service today. If you're visiting with us for the first time and haven't received the visitor's package, please pick up one on your way out. At the check, at the table, there's a mistake here. At the table on the way out, okay? Okay, we're available. Our practitioners offer many services to support your well-being, such as we're available immediately after service for prayer in the center, in the back of the sanctuary. And we request you wear a mask because it's close in there. Some practitioners offer spiritual coaching sessions. Please check the website or foyer of the social hall for the contact information for the practitioners. You can also request prayer through the Ministry of Prayer on the web or by placing a prayer in the prayer box. Our practitioners are available to you, and if you haven't had an experience with a practitioner, you actually owe it to yourself. It's one of the most fulfilling things that happens at this church. There's an opening that allows you to be at one with this person and with God, and it allows the energy of God flowing in this sanctuary to saturate your being. So all of the practitioners are eager to pray with you because it feels good to us. It will feel good to you. And that's all I wanted to say for my commercial. So let's stand for our closing prayer, for our closing affirmation. Is it there? As I witness the voice of God through me, healing happens. As I share the voice of God through me, others can hear and feel my presence, truth, and support. I fully participate in the manifestation of my individual and our collective liberation. And so it is.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all by myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. Let it go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am